Welcome to Waiver Claim, brought to you by Interstate of Green. Waiver Claim is a show that puts our football knowledge to the test, but here's the twist. Instead of debating each other, we're joining forces to take down AI. Our opponent, Milo the Mainframe, who with the help of Chris has one mission, and that's to beat us and beat us badly. It's going to be the human mind versus the mainframe, the human heart versus the hard drive. Every week, no mercy. Before we jump in, I want to give a huge shout out to our friends over at walkthemock.com. They're the home of the most elite mock draft simulator out there, and the fun doesn't stop just because it's April 25th. Walk the Mock has brand new modes coming in May, so whether you're a casual fan or a full-blown draft addict, they got you covered. They're quite literally the dynasty of mock draft sites. You want to use the code WAIVER for 20% off at checkout, and all those new modes coming in May, they're free to try. While you're at it, go check out our Jersey buddies over at Nerdities on Spotify or YouTube. They're five of Jersey's finest, debating, dissecting, and geeking out over all things pop culture, and they're a good crew and a great show. And obviously, do us a favor, follow us on Twitter at Waiver Claim. It's exactly how you think it's spelled. Hit subscribe and help spread the word. So enough housekeeping. Let's get down to business. I'm your co-host, Rich Wilhelm, and joining me tonight are Chris Tomlinson, Craig Gorbunoff, and Alberto Torres. As I mentioned before, Chris is the one feeding prompts to our AI buddy Milo, and he's got a little backstory on what actually went into building him. So Chris, why don't you take it away?
So yeah, I kind of wanted to get into how this was built a little bit because methodology matters, at least to me. If you wanted a lot more detail on the specifics, there's 2 articles up on Interstate of Green's website, brought to you conveniently by Milo. Here's the thing. I'm not going to personally claim that I'm a draft analyst. I've learned to trust certain people, like independent draft analysts like Dane Brugler, Fran Duffy, so on and so forth. I trust them. They watch the film. They do the stuff for that. I trust what they say. Like I said, I don't watch the film. I'm not going to pretend like I know how that translates specifically to the NFL. To me, mock drafts are kind of a regurgitation of each other. So I wanted to build Milo for things that I thought were important. So overall trends of mock drafters. How accurate have they been over 1, 3, 5 years? Things like that. Milo specifically loves Schrager and Jeremiah. Additionally, beat writers know their team specifically. They may not know other teams as much, but they have intel on their specific team. So I kind of tried to program that into it. Any scheme changes or GM changes, tried to incorporate that in. And then GM trends in general. So like in the last 5-ish years, Roseman has had a strong SEC bias. So things like that. GMs have types, they have specifics. So trying to figure out what those trends were and build it in. But also, you needed to watch out for, like I said, you don't want to conform to consensus. People are scared to make mistakes. So if you just do what other people are doing, you don't get in trouble. You don't get put on blast. And then also, this is the week of the draft. It's smokescreen season. Teams are actively planning false stories, whether that's to discourage rivals from trading up, to create a bidding war, protect their own target. So any leak that conveniently benefits that team gets discounted heavily in Milo. So Milo is trying to take all of this information that's publicly available and synthesize it to get the picks correctly. That's how I went into it, because honestly, that's the way my brain approaches it. And it feels like that's fair. I didn't put in things like being an Eagles fan. I'm very confident A.J. Brown's gone. I didn't build that into the model saying, make sure A.J. Brown is gone when you're considering the Eagles pick. I didn't want to influence it that way. So that's pretty much it. I guess we could get into it. Craig, you want to explain what's going on here?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Chris. So this week, we're putting our mock drafts to the test in a 3-on-1 handicap match against the one and only Milo. So Rich, Alberto, and myself will walk through our mocks live and stack them up against whatever Milo and Chris have cooked up. And here's how it's going to work. Round 1 is going to start with Rich, go to Alberto, and then to myself. and we finish with Milo and Chris. Each round after that, we flip the order, snake style, all the way down to pick 32. We're not going to kind of insult anyone's intelligence here. There's an obvious number one overall pick, clear cut consensus. Fernando Mendoza has been the top pick for months. Let's lock it in. Let's move on. And let's move on to Rich. You're my favorite team, who hopefully is going to get a generational talent here at the number 2 overall pick. Rich, New York Jets are on the clock. Who are they taking?
All right, so they're going to take Fernando Mendoza. No, I'm just kidding. So, um, it's really between two players here. I mean, it's between Arvel Reese and David Bailey, and whoever I pick here, the opposite player, the Jets are going to trade for. I mean, draft. The Jets continually try to play it safe, and you just can't do that with pick 2. I really do think that Arvel Reese is the best player here. I think he has a higher ceiling over Bailey. I think he can play linebacker and edge. And honestly, I'd much rather have a guy that can succeed at two positions or possibly fail at one and excel at the other, and over being like strictly a pass rusher like Bailey is, who I think is a little suspect on rundowns. So I'm picking Arvel Reese here. But with that being said, I fully expect the Jets to go Bailey. Alberto, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with the same script. Arvel Reese for the New York Jets. I think Arvel can play linebacker and can line up on the edge as well. His skill set is what Aaron Glenn covets for his hybrid defensive scheme.
Yeah, I agree with you guys on Reese. I don't have anything additional to say that hasn't been said. I did see something about the Jets canceling their workout with David Bailey the other day. So maybe a good sign that we can lock in Reese at number 2. But I'm curious to see what our friend Milo has to say about the Jets pick.
Different is actually. A couple of things before I get into it, though. I asked Milo to specifically pay your guys' mocks some compliments, some roasts. I asked it what's the most likely trade targets in certain spots, some betting information. So if there's like an over under, like maybe this is a good bet to make, and some bold predictions. So that'll be interspersed throughout the analysis. But Milo at pick number 2 is going with David Bailey. It's leaning heavily on Schrager. So Schrager's first mock had David Bailey going there. And then Schrager doubled down on the McAfee show this past week, saying, I back up what I say. I believe Bailey is still the target at number 2 for the Jets. And he cited a 98 out of 100 production score. So Milo is leaning David Bailey, which tracks with what Rich said, how it's going to be the opposite of what he said. So moving on to pick number 3, since didn't take Arvel Reese, he's going number 3 to the Cardinals. He's the number 1 on many of people's boards. Brugler's number 1 overall pick. And since Schrager stood by Bailey at number 2, it's just a natural fit for this. Arizona desperately needs pass rush. They had 30 sacks, 29th in the NFL. So they need some pass rush help. Craig, who you got at 3?
Yeah, I think we can keep this one kind of quick. I have David Bailey, the other elite pass rusher to Arizona, because I had Reese at 2. I think they're really similar players. I think both are going to have really solid careers in the NFL. So I think both these teams are going to be able to get after the passer this next season. Alberto, what do you got?
Yeah, David Bailey as well for Arizona Cardinals. He has game-wrecking ability, high football IQ, and can be the cornerstone for their defense for 10 plus years, I believe.
All right, well, we're about to see if we're about to get slaughtered by this robot twice in a row, or if we're going to take an early lead, because obviously I have David Bailey here as well. Originally, I had an offensive tackle for the Cardinals, but just the way it fell, I mean, Bailey is he's one of the biggest risers in this draft. So Arizona just finished with, 30 total sacks in 2025. I think they have a really big need. And there's really no one on that team besides Josh Sweat right now. So Bailey fills a perfect role for the Cardinals. Number 4 to the Tennessee Titans. I'm going sexy here. I'm going Jeremiah Love. I mean, the Titans have a lot of different areas that they can go, but Jeremiah Love is like the instant flash in the pan. I'm not a huge fan of running back by committee. I think that, what they're doing with Pollard and Spears, it's fun, it's fine, but like they need a bell cow. I think it's an instant upgrade for Cam Ward, and he definitely needs one as a young quarterback. Alberto, what do you got?
Yeah, Jeremiah Love the same. I love Tony Pollard, Tajee Spears. They're good, solid backs that you could depend on when needed. But they don't move the needle like Jeremiah Love does. Uh, they need him as much as he needs them. So, expect Jeremiah Love to raise that Titans offense to the next level. Think about it like this: Dable's there. Think about that one year that they had Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, and they made the playoffs, and they had a surprise win against the Minnesota Vikings in the playoffs. So that's the kind of potential we could see this new coaching staff there with the Tennessee if they get Jeremiah Love.
I do really like Jeremiah Love. I think he's probably going to be one of the best players coming out of this draft. I can't shake the feeling that Coach Sala is going to want someone to really command that defense. Um, he's the head coach. It's not Dayball, right? So he's going to go with what he knows. I think they're going to take Sonny Styles here. He's an incredible linebacker prospect. He's a very clear leader on the defense, and I think he's just someone who can command and lead your defensive side of the ball and have a huge impact on the game. So I'm going to go defense here for Tennessee. But what does the AI think, Chris? We got some disagreements here.
Milo's on Love. So matching with Rich and Alberto. Brugler's RB1, number 2 overall on his 100. Betting opened at plus 110 for Love. So Milo likes that pick. At 5 to the Giants, Milo is going Francis Moagoa. It kind of feels like a hardball pick to me, but that may just be the original Ravens personality where it's tough, hard nose, get some guys in the trenches. Moagoa is Brugler's OT2, number 11 overall. This is a spot where Milo is saying there's a potential high likelihood for a trade. So their GM confirmed on the 17th that teams are sending feelers for the slot, and the Giants need capital. So this is a spot you may want to be looking at during the draft and see if they potentially trade back.
Yeah,
Craig, who you got?
I do think there's some potential for a trade here with the Giants. I don't know how actually in love with my selection that I am here, but I'll give you my rationale. Harbaugh coming from the Ravens, they almost never had a quality like wide receiver one option in their offense, and I think that really hurt them over the years. Malik Neighbors, right? He's coming off the injury. I have Carnell Tate in this spot. I think you have a very young nucleus in that Giants offense. You have really exciting playmakers, and I think let's just lean into it. Let's give them a lot of weapons, and let's see what this Giants offense can put together. You know they're going to be well coached. You know they're going to be disciplined under Harbaugh. I really like this pick to take that Giants offense to the next level and have a very explosive front. Alberto, over to you, my guy.
Sure. I think the Giants are going to go with linebacker Sonny Styles. Uh, Knowing Harbaugh as a special teams coach for the Eagles many years ago, that was his thing. I know he wasn't the defensive coordinator, but he made sure we were set on special teams. And I know he loves his defense. I know he likes offense as well, but he loves a real strong linebacker that's going to command the attention and align the defense where they have to be. Be like that middle linebacker or outside linebacker, however they want to use him in that way. I think they're going to go with linebacker in this one for his first year there.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you on Sonny Styles here for the Giants. The dude is 6'5", 245 pounds, who ran a 4.46 40. It screams Harbaugh to me. 100 total tackles, 6 sacks, 10 and a half tackles for loss, 1 forced fumble, 5 passes defended. I mean, to me, honestly, Styles is the safest player in the entire draft.
More than Love?
Yes, more than Love. Yeah, for me, like overall, it would be Styles at 1. I just, If I'm the Jets, honestly, at 2, I think I would be tempted to take him there because I feel like he's safer than Reese and he's safer than Bailey, even though they have the instant flash in the pan thing. I think Sonny Styles is just the most well-rounded player in this draft. I think the Giants are going to fall in love with this guy. I mean, it's an instant upgrade at linebacker for them. So Sonny Styles for the Giants for me. And so at 6, I got Francis Moagoa. The Browns have a glaring hole at left tackle. DeJuan Jones is coming off his 3rd consecutive season-ending leg injury. You really got to shore up that line. I mean, obviously, you don't really know who the quarterbacks. I mean, it's supposed to be Shador, but who knows what's going to happen, after this draft and what they're going to do. If they have any shot of protecting Shador, you gotta shore up that line right now. Alberto, who you got?
Yeah, Francis Magoa as well. Todd Monken, he understands offenses. He knows that to have a successful offensive line, you have to build from the trenches. Um, Francis excels as a run blocker, which bodes well for Quinshon Judkins. Also, if they do have Shador, he throws. He has a good arm, but he does run a lot too, so that helps in that matter. But it just lines perfectly with their run first offense that they want to do this year.
In short, same here. Same pick. I don't need to say anything additional on it, but I know Milo doesn't have this player
Well,
selected.
that's
He's
that's
already off
because
the board.
I was gonna say that's because we took Moagoa in the previous pick, but he's on the same wavelength as you guys. Taking an offensive tackle, Spencer Fano, Brugler's #1 offensive tackle on his draft board. I believe he's also the #1 offensive tackle on Fran Duffy's draft board, ahead of Moagoa. But yeah, we're all leaning into offensive tackle there. It makes sense. It's just who's available potentially between the two, it sounds like. I picked #7 for the Washington team. They really should have just kept that name, honestly. They accidentally rolled into a great name and then blew it. But this is where we got Sonny Styles going. Hasn't been drafted today. He's been drafted by you guys. But Milo did note that this is the most uncertain pick in this round, and that's you'll see with the upcoming picks. But you have these different picks, different players, and there's no beat writer breaking the tie between them. So kind of feels like maybe a trade back scenario. Milo didn't flag it as one, but if it's this uncertain, you may just be trying to get some value there. That's just
I,
me talking.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I think it could be a trade back scenario. I think, Washington is probably a little bit better than their pick, right? They had some injuries last season. And so when I'm looking at this team, I'm looking at let's add game breakers onto this offense. So who can take this team to the next level, who can score from anywhere on the field. And I've yet to select Jeremiah Love, the running back out of Notre Dame. I think he's a very clear, obvious. If he's still on the board, Washington has to take him.
Alberto, who you got?
I have Carnell Tate. I'm going to go on the record and say that by the season's end, he will fight Terry McLaurin for the #1 spot at wide receiver. He's a safe pick at wide receiver. You know what he's done in Ohio State. I know college football is two different things, but I think that as an NFC East fan, of an Eagles fan that I am, and I've seen Washington, and we played against them twice, even 3 times, even 4 times sometimes. Uh, Basically, I think that Scary Terry, as good as he is, he disappears on occasions, and he's getting older. He can be reliable, and he has been, but I don't think Carnell Tate. It may seem like he's the replacement for Debo Samuel, but I think he's going to be the eventual replacement to take over for Scary Terry.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I agree completely on this one with Carnell Tate at 7. And in regards to the Love thing, I think Love's either going to go 4, 5, or 7. So it's kind of a 33% thing for me. But I like to go sexy early. I think that Carnell Tate is the most pro-ready wide receiver. I think he's going to be an instant upgrade over what they had in Debo Samuel. He will battle Scary Terry. Do I think he's the best wide receiver in this class? No, but I think he's going to go. I think he's going to go before the others. All right, number 8, I have Ruben Bain going to the Saints. We know the story about Ruben Bain. We know he doesn't have the longest arms in the world, and obviously we know about the recent news with him and his driving mishap, which we won't go into detail about. But just strictly player-wise, I mean, he has all the talent in the world. I mean, the Saints, they lost Cameron Jordan. You got Carl Granderson turning 30. Chase Young is off contract in 2028. The future of edge overall in New Orleans is like bleak. So it's kind of like a restart. I feel like you'd rather do it earlier than late. So you got Ruben Bain there at the edge, and I think that's a perfect pick for them at 8. Alberto, who do you have at 8?
Yeah, I have Ruben Bain Jr. as well. He's strong, tenacious, great tackler. He sets the edge and excels at it. He's going to be a tone-setting pass rusher, and I think it's going to make an impact for the Saints defense.
I'm on the same wavelength as you guys. I think Ruben Bain comes marching into New Orleans, but I will say this is a team that has a decent amount of holes. I wouldn't be shocked if this were a possible trade down scenario for New Orleans. But what does Milo think about trading down, or who the Saints are going to be drafting?
I was going to say, no trading down noted here. All on board with you guys. Ruben Bain Jr., Brugler's edge number 3, number 9 overall. This is where Milo actually wanted to pay a compliment to you guys.
Ooh.
Rich, Alberto, Craig, and Milo all agree at number 8 to New Orleans. It's the cleanest consensus pick in the segment.
Wow.
So, kudos, guys. Milo's proud of you.
Thank you, Robot.
The robots like us for a change. Incredible.
Oh, the roasts are coming. Believe me. At number 9 to the Chiefs, Milo has Caleb Downs going. On April 14th, Schrager on McAfee, there's no chance in bloody hell Caleb Downs will be around to pick 12 overall. Explicitly named the Chiefs as a potential top 10 destination. Multiple front office sources confirmed independently. Chiefs lost McDuffie plus Watson from secondary, signed Gilman as a stopgap only. So you get Brugler's safety number 1, number 5 overall. Right. Oh, this is where actually Milo suggested a betting edge as well. So Milo is taking Caleb Downs' draft position under if the market over-under is set at 10.5 or higher. So he's slamming the under if you got a 10.5 line you could find out there. Because multi-source confirmation, and Schrager confirmed it publicly twice. Who you got here, Craig?
I'm along the same lines here of secondary, but I have Mansour Delane, the corner out of LSU. I really like his length. I think he has a great ability to press. If you look at that division, you have some really strong wide receivers that I think Kansas City needs to be able to match up a little bit better on the outside. So that's where I like here, but I think it's a defensive pick for sure. What about you, Alberto?
I'm going with safety, Caleb Downs. I think he's a do-it-all safety. Can cover the slot, phenomenal against the run, and a terrific blitzer. Great addition for Spag's exotic style defense.
Yeah, right. I mean, I agree exactly what you just said about Spags. I have Caleb Downs here as well. After Brian Cook left, leaving for the Bengals, clear spot that they need right there, free safety. I mean, he's a difference maker. He can come in and make that defense better. So when there's a healthy Mahomes on the other side of the ball, they don't have to be worrying about picking at pick 9 again next year. For pick 10, I got Mansour Delane, the cornerback out for the Bengals. We just flipped those picks around, and that's all that was. So Cincinnati gets their own Revis Island. He's allowed just 31.
Quinyanamo Bay now.
What?
It's called Quinyanamo Bay.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I mean, as a Jets fan, it's always Revis Island, so that's what
Always
we
Revis
call it.
Island. It's always going to be Revis Island.
It's Revis Island. So they get their own Revis Island. He's allowed just a 31.3 passer rating when targeted last season. He's one of the most dominant coverage corners in all of college football. I mean, the Bengals need that. If you're looking at their defense last year, it was rough. If you're a fantasy football player, you know that you never picked them up. So there was a reason for that. Alberto, who do you have at 10?
Mansour Delane as well. I think he's arguably the best corner in this draft. He's going to resurrect a bottom of the barrel defense, Cincinnati, like Rich just alluded to. I think iron sharpens iron. He has two stalwarts at wide receiver when they come to practice. So he's only going to get better with practicing against Jamar Chase and T. Higgins.
If we go back about 60 seconds on this show, you guys said a lot of nice things about Caleb Downs, the safety out of Ohio State. He's still on my board because Delane isn't. He just got drafted before. So swap those two picks. Caleb Downs I have going to Cincinnati for all the reasons you said before about him going to Kansas City. What about Milo?
I was going to say, Milo has some takes on you on this one, Craig.
Uh-oh.
But before that, Milo's on Mansour Delane. So with Alberto and Rich on that one, regarding our first roast. So Craig has Mansour Delane going to Kansas City at number 9 and Caleb Downs at number 10. He swapped them. KC needs a safety. Cincinnati needs a corner. Craig was wrong about both players and both teams simultaneously. 2 wrongs, 2 different directions.
Listen, Milo, if you didn't need to be programmed to have a take, I would respect it. But listen, this is the real world. Real things happen.
I guess we'll see on Thursday.
Right.
And then going to number 11, and actually 2 compliments, I believe, and then another betting edge. So number 11 to the Dolphins, Milo has Mekhi Lemon going. And this kind of leads into the betting edge. So Milo is recommending Mekhi Lemon as the first wide receiver taken overall. So all 4 of our mocks agreed Lemon goes to Miami at number 11. But Milo's, this is version 8 that I've iterated it, has Lemon going before Carnell Tate, who most boards have listed as wide receiver 1. If the market has Tate as a heavy favorite for the first wide receiver off the board and Lemon is priced at plus 175 or longer, that's a live bet. So just something to consider. If you could find something for Lemon plus 175, maybe worth it. And then going back to some nice compliments from the previous one to Rich and Alberto. Both correctly project Downs at KC at number 9 and Delane to Cincinnati at number 8. Right players, right team, right order. Credit where it's due. So
thank you, Robert.
About those two.
We can in fact confirm that they agreed with the AI. So I'm sure the AI is very happy with that.
Where can I send,
It is.
Where can I send the flowers?
Right. Do they accept Bitcoin? So, I mean, basically, you just said that everyone has Lemon at 11. I mean, we don't have to go through, all of us, why we picked. I mean, it's obvious that the Dolphins definitely need wide receivers. They need more than one. They lost the entire core. So this is kind of like my Sharpie pick. This is a pick for me that's like never changed in all the mocks that I've done. It's always been Lemon because I always have Tate going first, but I guess Milo doesn't agree with that, but we'll have to see. So I'll just jump right into 12. 12, I got McCoy, the cornerback, going to the Cowboys. He's a physical corner. He's got 4.38 speed. He has a over 10-foot broad jump. All the intangibles from the combine. He can kind of do it all. He is coming off of an ACL injury. But I feel like his talent is too much to pass up. I mean, if he didn't have that injury, I think he'd be battling with Mansour Delane to be the first corner off the board. He still very well might be. I've seen a lot of mocks where he goes before Delane. Just for me, I don't think it's going to happen just based on the injury scare. Cowboys really don't care about that. Jerry Jones just likes to gamble. That's what he always does. So I have McCoy going here to the Cowboys. Alberto, who do you have at 12 to your arch rivals?
I don't want to help my enemies, but they do deserve to get a corner. So Jermod McCoy will be going to the Cowboys. Uh, their defense, they had some bright spots, but then they didn't, and they had a lot of injuries. And
The
this
bright spot was Parsons.
correct, and he's
They
gone.
got rid of him.
Correct. And well, he's this guy Jermod McCoy. He's going to be replacing Trayvon Diggs. Yeah, maybe the injury scares them, but from what I understood, the injury was from January of 2025, not 2026. So he's well removed from that injury. Um, you know, uh, I think they have the right people, the right defensive coordinator there that's going to help him. Former DB's coach for the Eagles, unfortunately for us.
I was really upset with that.
Yeah, so now he's the DC for the Dallas Cowboys. So if you know what he did with Quinion Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, you know he's going to do well with McCoy.
Yeah, and I'll keep it brief because I'm on the same page as everyone else. But just good corners are so valuable in this league. If you can get yourself a good cover corner, your defense is going to be able to compete with anyone and keep you in games. So I really feel like if there's a solid corner on the board here and your defense needs help, most teams are going to lean that way because they're so hard to come by. What does Milo have on slot?
I was going to say Milo's on the same page with all of you. So McCoy's the pick here for the Cowboys. Brugler's cornerback 2, number 14 overall. And as Alberto mentioned, the ACL concerns are substantially resolved. He ran a 4.38 as pro day. So seems like that's not as much of a concern right now. At pick number 13, Milo has the Rams taking Carnell Tate. This is where Carnell Tate fell for him. The bold prediction here from Milo is Jordan Tyson does not go round 1. ESPN's Matt Miller explicitly reported Tyson will take a draft day tumble outside the top 20 due to hamstring concerns. So we'll see with that since we're kind of getting into all these wide receivers being taken. But right here, Milo has the Rams taking Carnell Tate. Craig, who you got?
I mean, if Tate were still on my board, sure, I would love that. But I guess because ESPN is just wrong, Jordan Tyson, Arizona State, going to be right here. He's he's a very solid receiver prospect. I don't know why they're reporting that. And everything going on with like Puka Nacua and the Rams offense, they need a receiver big time. And I like Tyson in that slot. And Alberto and Richard nodding pretty aggressively. So maybe they're on the same page as me. We'll find out. Alberto, what do you think?
Yeah, Tyson would be good there at pick 13, but I'm going with the safe pick, and I'm going with wide receiver Omar Cooper Jr. He's a natural hands catcher. In college last year, he caught 75% of his targets, and he's a yak threat. So I think he's just going to, again, we'll see what the whole situation is with Puka Nacua and an aging Devontae Adams, but I think he's like a safe pick, and he'll complement both of those receivers when everybody's out on the field and playing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of going a different wavelength here. I mean, I got to start by saying I think that Jordan Tyson has a better shot of being the first wide receiver off the board instead of not making the first round at all. I think he's on the rise. We're recording this show on Saturday, April 18th. Yesterday, he had his private workout with 25 teams, and instantly things have changed. I think he's on the rise right now. So if there is a bet where he's not making the first round, I think you bet against that heavy.
I was going to say, I'm going to rerun the Milo Thursday just so you could drop it on Interstate of Green to see where Milo ends up fully. But like you said, it's Saturday, the 18th right now. So this is all the information we got right now.
Right. Well, I'm just saying, if people are listening to this,
You're already hedging. I got it.
Yeah. So with that being said, I think that, we need Matt Stafford to have a good farewell tour. And with that being said, he needs to be protected. I got Caden Proctor here, the offensive tackle. He's one of the biggest risers in the draft. He might actually be the biggest riser in the draft. When this started, I had him as my offensive tackle 4. Now, based on this draft, he's number 2. He's 6'7", he's 352. 3-year starter for Alabama playing SEC teams. The guy had over 2,400 snaps at left tackle. For me, I mean, he's just you plug and play, instant. Um, and Stafford needs that. You guys are talking wide receiver. He's going to need time to get the ball to those wide receivers. And for me, I always love to build the line. So Rams are a great team, and they just get better with Proctor here. 14 for the Ravens. I got Vega Ione, the center. This is the most simple Sharpie pick I have in the entire draft. This is the Tyler Linderbaum replacement. You just get rid of Tyler Linderbaum, bring in Vega. There it is. There's no way to overcomplicate this and overthink this. This should be the pick. I don't know what Milo says. We're not there yet, but we'll start with Alberto. What do you say the Ravens got here at 14?
Yeah, I'm going to echo your sentiments exactly. Vega Ione. Uh, you got to protect Lamar Jackson. If they want to take it to the next level and go deep into the playoffs, you got to protect your prized quarterback and also open up lanes for King Henry. And I think Ione could get to that second level and just be a disruptor on offense.
I'm on a similar page. I like Spencer Fano here. I think he's a big boy. I think he fits the Ravens scheme pretty well in that run heavy scheme. But I agree they have to get better in the trenches. What does our AI friend have to say about the Baltimore Ravens? Are they making it back to the playoffs with this pick?
Going to say different wavelength on the Ravens pick than you guys. So Milo has Keldrick Falk uh,
Hmm.
going at this spot, specifically citing that their defensive coordinator publicly named edge rusher as the defense's top priority entering this draft. The Ravens finished with 28 sacks, which was near the bottom in the AFC. This is Brugler's edge number 4, number 15 overall in his The Beast guide. So went a different way on that one. And then Tampa Bay at number 15. Milo's taking the sexy pick of Kenyon Sadiq. I know a lot of people love a Sadiq in this draft. Uh, Jordan Reed said on April 10th, tight end Kenyon Sadiq is a real possibility at number 15. There's just multiple converging signals this week. Brugler's tight end number 1, number 16 overall on his board. However, we do need to go back one step for a roast
Uh
for
oh.
Alberto, and by default, Rich as well.
Uh-oh.
Uh, Iwane, or I'm not going to pretend I know how to pronounce that correctly. Vega, big boy Vega. So Alberto sends Vega to Baltimore at number 14. Ravens defensive coordinator Weaver publicly named edge rusher as the defense's top priority. Alberto heard defensive investment and drafted a guard.
Well, I mean, he's a center. I mean, and you lost your center. I mean, Milo, he's off by one position, but we can't fault him for everything.
Landon Dickerson was a center too, and then turned it up the guard.
Right. I mean, same with the Jets and Titman, but I mean, like, I think, Vega's going to be a center and plug and play. So we'll see, Milo. This one I actually feel confident in, so I'm going to battle the robot on this one.
Rich is going full blown Terminator. But
Yeah.
we're on Tampa Bay's pick right now, and I have Keldrick Falk here, who the AI had going to Baltimore just the pick before. I think Tampa, when you get to these teams in the middle of the draft, they can sort of go any different direction, right? They're all kind of close to getting into the playoffs, and you're looking for just someone to make a key difference right on the field, and I think Falk can be that player for Tampa. Alberto, what do you have the Buccaneers taking?
I'm sticking with defense, but I'm going with cornerback Colton Hood. They could go best player available, like you're saying. They could go either way. They're right there at the edge of possibly making, if I'm not mistaken, Tampa Bay and the Panther were battling for who was going to win first, first round, first place in their division last year. Uh, I don't think since Todd Bowles is still the head coach and it's defense oriented, that he wants to miss out on the corners that are still available. I'd take Colton Hood, and it could help revamp their secondary for as long as it's needed. So I would get them now while they're available.
Gotcha. I mean, in that division, the Jets had a chance. What did they win it, like 7-9 or something? Anyway, I'm going to Keem Messidor here for the Bucks. Crazy stat, but the last player to have 8 sacks was Shaq Barrett, um, back in 2021. So, I mean, Messidor had 12 and a half sacks last year. He could be looking to break that streak. Obviously, he's got some injury concerns, but I mean, it's too good to pass up at this point. I mean, I feel like he's a great player, and he's going to be an instant starter for the Buccaneers. At 16, to my unfortunate New York Jets, I have Jordan Tyson, wide receiver.
Milo's round 2 pick.
Right, which he's wrong. Um, Honestly, I think Tyson has the highest ceiling in the entire draft. I think I said it before. I think Tate is going to go first, but I think Tyson honestly is the most talented just based on skill set. I mean, he'll be the perfect complement to Garrett. He'll allow AD Mitchell to run free. He's just a playmaker, and the Jets just don't have those. Garrett Wilson went down last year, and it just kind of went to poop. It was always poop, but worse poop. Um, Alberto, who do you have to my New York Jets?
For your New York Jets, I have Jordan Tyson as well. While I think Tate and Lemon seem to be the safe pick, I'm going to probably use these air quotes a lot in this segment. Jordan is the right pick for the New York Jets. I don't think any of those teams that need a receiver should let Jordan Tyson drop that far to 16. The Jets get a receiver. He complements A.D. Mitchell and Garrett Wilson to perfection.
I'm on a similar wavelength as you guys, but I have Omar Cooper from Indiana here in the slot for the Jets. I really like just championship pedigree. I think the Jets need someone to come in here who has won at some stage and can bring that mindset into this locker room. And for the same reasons of this team just desperately needs a weapon. Someone has to draw some coverage away from Garrett Wilson and open things up for this offense for Geno Smith under center, maybe. But I really like that pick here, Omar Cooper out of Indiana for the Jets.
And Milo's on board with you, giving you a compliment. Omar Cooper Jr. here. The Jets beat reporter, am I saying this right? Samini? Is that how you? So, and Jordan Reed both confirmed strong Jets interest in Cooper. And just Milo wanted to call out that Mendoza Cooper Indiana connection is real, and Craig found this information. Wanted to give him kudos.
Rock and roll, baby.
At pick number 17, the Detroit Lions, Milo has Caden Proctor going. Jeremiah confirmed the Lions love Proctor. So that's the pick here. Craig, who you got for the Lions?
Same position. I'm going offensive line. I'm going Monroe Freeling out of Georgia. Go Dogs, right, Rich?
That's right. Sickle.
I think the Lions are a really interesting team. They had a fall off last year. When you're a team like this, where you're talented on the outside, right, and something doesn't go right, I think you have to get better in the trenches. So that's where I'm heading. So Alberto, who do you have Detroit taking here?
I'm going out again with, not again, sorry. I'm going with offensive tackle Monroe Freeling for Detroit Lions. Their defense was decimated last year. So you would think, let's go defense. Let's fix whatever's going on. No, I think offense is more important. It's what's carrying the team. They'll get the defense rolling eventually, get what they need to do. But, you have a new duo of Gibbs and Pacheco, no longer Montgomery. That's going to be interesting, and I think they need to keep Jared Goff up, and Monroe Freeling is going to be good to protect them and guide them to where they need to get to. Hopefully, the playoffs.
All right. Well, I gotta let you guys know I have a feeling that it's going to be Monroe here to the Lions as well. So my 6'7" Georgia boy, who I actually watched probably 90% of his snaps. I mean, he was just no one was getting by him. He has a RAS score of 9.99 out of 10, which is second among all 1,600 plus offensive tackles ever evaluated. I know some people are like higher on RAS scores than others. But I saw this guy. This guy I can actually say is a stud, and I think the Lions definitely get an instant starter day one at tackle with Freeling. 18 to the Vikings. I feel like this pick, this is a weird draft, but I feel like at 18, almost everyone has this guy. This is Dylan Thiemann, the strong safety. You look at most drafts, it just makes so much sense, and it's because Harrison Smith, you're going to need a replacement for him who can come in, plug and play. It's really just a no-brainer. I mean, you don't have to go any more, any deeper into it. It's just that's the replacement. So Thieneman, Alberto, who do you have to the Vikings at 18?
Again, I have Dylan Thieneman. Harrison Smith is no more. Uh, the disrespect to the Vikings defense was real last year. They allowed 66.7% of fourth downs completed against them. Uh, they need a Swiss Army knife at safety. He can help them out. And I believe that with his addition, among other players, eventually throughout the draft and free agency, they could go back to dominating like they have and shut teams down.
Same. Milo, over to you.
Same.
Right. I mean, I don't know what happened, but 18, everyone is just like, let's pick the same guy, and everyone agreed to it. So
I was going to say, Jeremiah stares me in the face at 18. He's going to be there, and the Vikings need a safety. Brugler's safety number 2, number 18 overall in his top 100. So it makes sense, fits value. It's what they need. At pick 19 to the Carolina Panthers, Milo has Monroe Freeling going. So same areas. Your guys, you took them a pick or so before. But Milo wanted to compliment everybody on last round, everybody agreeing. So in an otherwise fragmented round, this is the only pick after number 12 where we all agree. So everyone put in the work on this pick. But you guys kind of covered Freeling already, so I guess over to you, Craig.
Yeah, but I'm on the same wavelength here. He's just already off my board, but they got to go O line. They got to beef this up and get take what they were able to put together last year as a wild card playoff team, right? And hopefully get a better run. You build up in the trenches. So I have Caleb Lomu here. I think he's a very solid offensive tackle. Beef up that line, protect your quarterback, open up some more running lanes, right? I think to me that's the fit. Alberto, over to you. What do you got?
I have tight end Kenyon Sadiq going to the Carolina Panthers. Canales, he's a genius, offensive-minded head coach. Obviously, previously offensive coordinator with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He has something clicking there that is going to catch the league's attention this year. I even think he's going to be the number 2 behind Ted McMillan by the end of this year.
wow. I mean, I think he's very physically talented at tight end. I mean, he could be the next guy that we're talking about for fantasy, and I have the same guy for the Panthers. I have Kenyon Sadiq. For every reason you just said, I don't even think I need to add anything. They need playmakers on that team. And you need someone that's going to like take the production that they're losing with losing Rico Dowdle. Obviously, totally different positions, but you're going to have to get points. And Rico scored a ton last year. 20 for the Dallas Cowboys. I got Keldrick Falk, defensive lineman. So he's definitely no Micah Parsons. Obviously, we know that. You cannot replace Micah Parsons. But at this point of the draft, you're looking at 20, you're looking at high ceilings, insane measurables. The dude is 6'6", 76 pounds, can play both defensive tackle and defensive end. So when you got a guy like that, I know, Chris, you're very high in this guy. Maybe Milo is too. But yeah, when he's here at 20, still on my board, this is kind of a no-brainer. Who do you got at 20, Alberto?
Well, like Chris alluded to earlier, you're going to hear a lot of smoke screens leading up to the NFL draft. Um, Dallas Cowboys, I've seen rumors where they could trade up both their first round picks to go up to get someone. I wouldn't go that route. I'd stick with defense, and I'm going with edge rusher Zion Young. I think he's a vocal leader, and he's going to show it on the field. And I think if they focus, and I can't believe I'm saying this because I can't stand the Cowboys. It's Cowboys, Washington, Giants in that order. But anyway,
Who's
basically,
first?
who's the first? The first
Well,
is the
you
Eagles.
you you name three teams in that division, and I guess Eagles would be one.
Eagles would be number one, but like I don't hate them. That was the order of how which teams I hate the most.
Oh, okay,
Um,
gotcha.
yeah,
So
but
he hates the Eagles the most. Got it. Yeah.
no, no, I
Yeah.
love them. Anyway, real quick, but I think if Dallas Cowboys sticks to the script and they go defense early and often, they could have a top 12 defense by the end of the year.
I I was a little conflicted here with Dallas's second pick. I had them going corner earlier on. Um, I think they could go a lot of different directions. And if you've paid attention throughout my mock draft, I think when you can do that, you should go offensive line, because it's where you're going to win and lose football games. Are you able to protect your quarterback in the clutch? Are you able to run the football? Are you able to drain clock? So I have Caden Proctor here. He's still on my board, out of Alabama. I think when Dallas was at their best over the last couple of years, they had at one point the best offensive line in football. Let's try to get back to that for the Cowboys. Chris slash Milo, what do you have here?
I was gonna say Milo's on the defensive train, but instead of Young and Falk, Falk was already taken to the Ravens and ours. It's Mesidor. Uh, so on Brugler's, Mesidor is his edge 5, number 28 overall, where Young is his edge 8, number 37 overall. So same position, same thought process. Milo just prefers Mesidor over Young on that. At pick number 21 to the Steelers, Milo has TJ Parker, an edge, going to them. Milo is not in, like, I know there's a lot of mocks that are kind of going QBs in this spot potentially for Pittsburgh. Uh, preview. But Milo's not in on that, taking a lot of credence into Rodgers probably coming back. And Milo's thought is you don't take a developmental QB if you're in a win now situation with Rodgers. Now, Chris doesn't necessarily believe that fully, but that's Milo's reasoning, because if you believe in a quarterback, you take them. Full stop. So, Craig, who do you got the Steelers taking?
Yeah, I'm with you that I don't think they're going to go quarterback here. We talked about him a little bit before, and I don't want to butcher his name, but I have Vega here in this slot. He's local to Pennsylvania, right? Coming out of Penn State. I think he just fits the like old school Pittsburgh Steeler attitude. Big, physical, able to move the line, able to run the football, keep Aaron Rodgers upright, and hopefully able to sling it for them. Well, hopefully from Pittsburgh's perspective, I don't want Rodgers to have any more success in his NFL career. He should just retire already. So that's my thoughts there on the Steelers. Alberto, what do you got?
I'm going with quarterback Ty Simpson. Currently, they have Will Howard and Mason Rudolph, which Mason Rudolph could get you a win when he feels like it. We don't know anything about Will Howard other than he was from Ohio State. Ty Simpson, I think, is talented. He has an underrated arm. He has good receivers, not great, which you can build up on that eventually. But you have a solid, rotation of pass catching talent in Metcalf, Pittman, and Fryermuth. They also have good running backs. So I think why not? I know that next year's draft is going to be top tier with quarterbacks, but if you love somebody, go with Ty Simpson.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. This is Ty Simpson for me as well. This is actually a pick that's never changed in any of my mocks, and I know as of now the Cardinals are the team that everyone is saying are going to come up for Ty Simpson. But kind of that makes it even stronger for me for the Steelers to pick him here. I mean, if the Cardinals are talking about trading up, take him at 21. I think his over under right now is 24 and a half. What are you losing? 3 spots? I mean, the whole Aaron Rodgers thing, it's just every year. Oh, I'm coming back. I'm not. I'm coming back. I'm not. I mean, obviously he's probably going to come back. His coach is there. Everything is set up for him. But I just feel like, you need to have Will Howard plus. I feel like a healthy quarterback competition is going to be great for the Steelers. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to be the teaching quarterback at this stage of his career, but two young quarterbacks learning together, have the best man win.
He
I think that
feels like the type of quarterback you trade at the back of the first round to get that fifth year, though. He doesn't feel like a trade to a 20-ish to me. Is
well, I
my
mean,
is
right,
my problem with it.
right, but I mean, you can't trade up if he's already taken. That's what I'm just.
I'm just saying. I think he falls a little, and he's gonna get like swooped into like pick 30 or something. Whoever needs a quarter, somebody's gonna jump in at the back of the round.
I mean, I don't want to preview Craig's mock, but that could be coming soon. All right, so Ty Simpson, we'll see what happens, but for me, 21 makes perfect sense, and then the Cardinals later on, if that happens, if he gets past this point, I agree 100% that he's probably going to be 32. 22 for the Chargers, I have defensive lineman Peter Woods out of Clemson. To me, the Chargers are the most wide open team when it comes to the first round. I mean, it's really hard to pick who they're going to draft, just because we got another Harbaugh here, and I don't know what he's going to do. So they're a good team. They could very well, go best player available. I really think it's the perfect time for them to beef up that defense. Injuries last year derailed the offensive line, but obviously they're getting healthier. They're all coming back. So let's build the trenches on the defensive line here. Alberto, who do you have at 22 to the Chargers?
I believe that they do feel a need on the trenches, but on the opposite side, they're going with offensive guard Chase Bisontis. He's the second best offensive guard. I think they need to protect Justin Herbert. Uh, he's a great quarterback. Don't get me wrong. Great for fantasy football. He slings it to the best of them, but they need to keep him upright and playing and go far. And I mean, that's the gripe that they have on him. I think they keep him upright, and he's just going to be slinging it. He's great as a pass blocker. I will go with Chase Bisontis with the Chargers.
Yeah, I'm with you, Rich. I have Peter Woods in this slot. I think, again, when you're in this middle section, you're gonna kind of take the best player available that fits your scheme, right? And I think Peter Woods is that player for the Chargers. Who does Milo have the Chargers taking here?
Milo's on a similar wavelength to Alberto and wanted to give Alberto some kudos.
Ooh.
So he took Bisontis to the Chargers at number 22. They have interior O-line needs, and Alberto didn't just slot in the most exciting available defender. That's a thoughtful positional fit pick. The robots like you here, Alberto.
Wow.
Milo's on a similar wavelength, though, taking Blake Miller, offensive tackle. Brugler's offensive tackle, number 6, number 29 overall. Fran Duffy's offensive tackle, number 962. Fran Duffy does not care for Blake Miller at all. I think realistically, he's actually like offensive tackle number 19. The gist behind Fran Duffy is not exceptional in any one trait, like whether or not like nasty, like the agility, the size. You want something special, and Blake Miller is just like all around good. And that's what Fran doesn't like. But Brugler's offensive tackle 6, that's who Milo has going here. And then a pick number 23 to my Philadelphia Eagles. And I disagree with the robot, personally. Well, first,
give the
Milo,
robot and then give your pick. Give the robot and then give your pick.
Yeah, so Milo has it going Denzel Boston, wide receiver. So Schrager and Jeremiah have both signaled targeting a wide receiver. A.J. Brown's a Patriot. I fully believe that personally. A.J. Brown, post-June 1st trade, will be a Patriot. My issue with this pick is, one, I'm not thrilled with really any of the wide receivers in this draft class. There's not the Jamar Chase. There's not like somebody that's just a stud on stud. Like you have all these people that may turn out to be like really good, but there's not that like surefire guy. If the board breaks like this for the Eagles, what I personally think would happen with the Eagles is I think they would trade up to somebody like the Vikings, where we all had them taking Tiedemann. But most people, it's like this fits a specific need, but it's not necessarily that player should exactly go there. So it feels like a spot where the Vikings could potentially trade back. the Eagles could trade up, and I think they would be targeting either Freeland or Caden Proctor. Any of the top 4 offensive tackles is who I think Roseman would be trying to target there. Milo didn't call that out. That's all my brain in there. But right now, Milo has Denzel Boston going to the Eagles. Who you got, Craig?
I'm going wide receiver here. I have Kevin Concepcion at A&M. I think that, from a fit perspective, replacing like an AJ Brown, right? It's I don't know if it's necessarily the best 1-to-1. I think you'd probably want someone a bit more big bodied, but I really like Kevin's ability to get off the ball. I think he's really fast in his burst, and I think he's the type of player that can just help kind of pick apart defenses. And I think that's going to fit the Eagles' offense really well. So that's who I got here going to Philadelphia. Alberto, you're also an Eagles fan, so probably a bit more expert perspective than mine. Who are the Eagles taking?
I'm gonna say what the pick is, and then my perspective as a fan. So I'm going with Spencer Fano, uh, Lane Johnson. Love him. He's been solid, but
Solid.
no,
Solid.
beyond that,
Hall of Famer.
elite Hall of Famer. But you don't know if he's going to be here next year or he's going to stay another year. So you got to get the offensive tackle that's going to replace him sooner rather than later.
Agree.
Personally, I would rather they go safety. They need a safety. They might trade for someone from another team, or get somebody that they like later on because safety is depleted on their roster at the point. But right now, Spencer Funnel is going to be a luxury pick. If he does play, it's because of injury, and they basically coached him up to play already, or he'll spend a year playing interior, maybe guard.
Yeah, I mean, I can't believe that Fano fell this far on my mock.
Now he does it again.
He does it again, right? So he fell this far on my mock, Alberto's mock. It's just a typical Eagles swoop. This would be a slam dunk pick for them. I mean, obviously, everything Alberto said about the line. He's usually, a year ahead. I think he's kind of on par right now if he does this right here. Do I think he's the 4th best offensive tackle, like my mock says? Absolutely not. I would have him right below Maunoa. But I mean, just based on the trends, it seems like Freeling and Proctor are on the rise, and Fano is going a little lower. I know that could be smoke, but
I feel like it's smoke. You have both 2 independent draft guys, Duffy and Brugler, as OT1. It feels like smoke to me, but maybe I think he has short arms or average arms,
yeah,
so maybe that scares people off.
right. So I mean, for me, I have Fano here, but I can see them also going safety. Obviously, if Thieneman falls as far, which I don't think he will, I think that could be the pick. And if they want to go the other route, I think McNeil Warren can also be the pick. But with Fano right here in your laps, you got to take him. So that's what I did that. 24, I have the Cleveland Browns selecting wide receiver Omar Cooper Jr. from the champion Indiana Hoosiers. Cooper proved that he's an absolute stud on the national championship team. Honestly, if it's not for Cooper, you're not talking about Mendoza at 1. Cooper saved their season multiple times. I'm sure you guys remember that very, very fun catch in the back of the end zone over Penn State. I think Cooper could go to the Jets at 16 as well. I know, we had that before. It's going to be kind of pick your poison. I think Cooper fits well for Cleveland. He also fits well for the Jets. I think, honestly, if he goes to Cleveland right here, he's going to be the one. Yeah, I think he is going to quickly become the one on that team. I think he has more talent than anyone on that team right now. So that's why I did Omar Cooper to the Browns at 24. Alberto, who do you got to the Brownies?
Kevin or Casey Concepcion, however you want to call him on any given day.
AC and JoJo?
Casey and JoJo.
All my life.
Versatile, well-rounded wideout. He could play both inside and outside. He's probably a little bit smaller in size, but I think that bodes well for what they want to do since they want to focus on a run-first offense.
I don't know how much I love this pick, honestly, that I have here for Cleveland. And transparently, I don't remember where you guys had him earlier, but I'm pretty sure you guys had Akeem Messidor get drafted a little bit
I think
earlier.
that was only me so far.
Gotcha. And I think he's a talented edge rusher. There's a lot of rumor mill stuff going on with Miles Garrett currently. I don't know how much any of it is true. I think regardless, Messidor is a really solid pass rusher. Assuming that Garrett is there, you have the NFL record sack leader on one side. You have Messidor on the other. Good luck to any other quarterback trying to pass against this team. The Browns obviously have a lot of holes and a lot of things they need to address. But that to me, that's a very scary combination to have to face as an opposing offense. So that's the direction I'm going for Cleveland.
I was going to say Milo's on the same page as you with an edge. Not Mesidor since already taken, but Zion Young here. Brugler's edge 8, number 37 on his board. Just saying Browns go best player available. And then for the Bears, back-to-back edges happening here. You got Cassius Howe, Brugler's edge number 9, number 39 overall. The Bears have not drafted a first-round edge since 2016. It's a clear positional need and a clean slot. So Milo's going Cassius Howe here. Craig, back to you.
I'm going to an Ohio State defender because those are seemingly the best players in this draft. Is Caden McDonald. I think that the Bears have really struggled against the run. I think you get a big old boy up front to help you take care of that, and you take a defensive lineman here. Alberto, what do you think?
I'm going with defensive tackle Peter Woods. He's an anchor on the defensive line. He's great against the run. He's going to help propel the entire defense to the next level for Chicago.
So this pick for Alberto, I mean, I feel like he's talked to me about this pick more than any other pick. So I think he has this one in Sharpie. But
Sharpie.
I have a different pick. I'm going edge TJ Parker from Clemson here. You need someone that could rush the passer. I mean, the Bears were lacking that last year. They had 16 total sacks over the last 2 years. I think the only reason that Parker fell this far is because his production fell off slightly last year. But like, he's a player that the Chicago Bears absolutely need instead of coming back in the last second of every game with long bombs like their quarterback had to do with Caleb. So 26, I got the Buffalo Bills taking edge as well. I got Cassius Howe from Texas A&M. It seems like there hasn't been a dominant pass rusher on the edge since Josh Allen's been on the team. I mean, if you kind of go back and just look at the roster, there hasn't been that guy. My boy Jim Leonard, Jets legend, he's going to make that defense fire on all cylinders. There's no way around it, which as a Jets fan, I hate. But I do think that the Bills are going to be a lot better on defense than what they were. I think Brady on offense can also be a boost in the right direction. Maybe they finally make it past the hump. I really hope not. But, I mean, this is definitely going to help. Alberto, who do you have to the Bills?
Have TJ Parker going to the Bills, edge rusher. I think he can apply pressure and set the tone and disrupt an offensive game plan. So I look at it like this. Josh Allen in that offense is like this, and sometimes their defense kind of catches up to them, but they're always down because they don't have that pass rusher or two pass rushers that they need. I think TJ Parker helps them, and it kind of evens out things between offense and defense there.
For the Bills here, I have a guy we had a little bit earlier on go. I have Blake Miller. I think that, it's again one of those things for a team that is really good, needs to get a little bit better. I think you go to the trenches. So give me the tackle Blake Miller to the Buffalo Bills. What does Milo have here?
Milo's going to the other trenches. Caden McDonald, defensive line. Specifically, Schrager had some buzz on McDonald to Buffalo. The Bills finished 30th against the run. McDonald is Brugler's D tackle number 1, number 32 overall. So it's really good value at a position of need for them. It's just a good fit. For the 49ers at pick number 27, Milo has Caleb Lomu going, offensive tackle. Again, relying on Schrager. Trent Williams is 38. So succession planning, similar to the Eagles, you need to do. He was a top 30 visit, developmental replacement with upside. Brugler's offensive tackle number 25.
I do really like that direction for San Francisco. I'm going with a player who I believe is already off all of your boards, but um, I just don't necessarily see tight ends falling or going that early. But I do think Sadiq is an incredible weapon, and I think he really fits a need for San Francisco with an aging George Kittle who's had injury problems and is just that kind of big body weapon that Brock Purdy can throw it up to and hopefully take that team into the next level. So I think the talent is basically too good at this point for him to go any further. Give him to San Francisco. Alberto, what about you?
I'm going offensive tackle Blake Miller. Uh, while in Clemson, he had 53 consecutive games that he played without any injuries. And each game he's gotten progressively better, better, and better. I think they need that. They want to keep Brock Purdy up and healthy, protect and open up lanes for Christian McCaffrey. I think that's the way that they go. It's a safe pick, and I think he fits in what the Mike Shanahan offense is trying to do on the offensive line.
Yeah, I mean, we agree completely on this. Blake Miller, he's a big, beefy dude, 6'7", 317. He's going to be the replacement for Trent Williams when he leaves. It's going to allow the 49ers to use their funds for other things to make the team even better. So it's a safe pick, but it's a smart pick. I really like Blake Miller here. 28, same position. Sticking with Caleb Lomu, the tackle out of Utah for the Texans. I mean, let's be real. The Texans line has been a game of like musical chairs for the past few years. I think they need time to have consistency behind CJ Stroud. He's overachieved during the regular season, seemed to underachieve in the postseason. We need to fully see him protected to see his full talent. I definitely think that Lomo is a value pick here at 28. Alberto, who do you have to the Texans?
Defense wins championships most times. I'm going with linebacker Jacob Rodriguez. I think D'Amico Ryans, former All-Pro linebacker, formerly of the Eagles, he knows a player when he sees a player, and I think he just wants to beef up that defense to the utmost. And I think Jacob Rodriguez is going to be that linebacker, that middle linebacker that they need to command and direct everyone where they have to go to their assignments. He's going to be their D'Amico Ryans. I like Jacob Rodriguez for the Houston Texans.
I'm more on Rich's train of thought of getting that O line together, but I definitely see the vision, Alberto, and I could see Houston going either direction. I have offensive tackle Max Heineker, which is a very fun name to say, going to the Texans for basically all the same reasons that Rich listed. I think they have to get better on this line, and if CJ Stroud is going to do it, they have to protect him and hopefully get to the next level. If you're a Texans fan, what does the AI have to think about our friends down in Houston?
On the Ehinacore train. So Milo has Max here. Developmental ceiling tackle. Houston needs offensive line reinforcement. Brugler's offensive tackle number 7. At pick number 29, and then we have 2 roasts coming up. The Rams, Milo has taken Colton Hood. Lost McDuffie from the secondary. Hood is Brugler's QB5, so it's good value. In terms of the roasts, first one, and honestly, Milo should be looking in the mirror here because same, buddy, but this one's directed at Rich. So at this point in his mock, Rich has drafted 5 offensive linemen in the first round at this point. Mm-hmm. So Rich either believes every NFL franchise is engaged in some kind of trench war arms race, or he ran out of ideas around pick number 22 and started drafting the OT depth chart in alphabetical order.
Well, I mean, honestly, if you don't have...
I think that's more fair about my draft strategy than your draft strategy.
Right. Milo has just as many if you go through it. Don't let this man, don't let this robot come at us.
If you don't have the trenches, you don't have a team. I mean, if your quarterback's on his butt, I mean, he can't be throwing. So whatever, Milo, robot.
And then the next one's at Alberto, catching some strays. So this is for his Jacob Rodriguez pick, who he's sent to Houston at 28. Houston needs offensive line help. Milo searched every credible source for Rodriguez to Houston buzz, found 0. Alberto looked at the Texans team with documented O-line need and drafted a linebacker. Oh, and apparently we got a betting edge too. So this is where it's pointing out the Jordan Tyson stuff from earlier. I know you guys are higher on him, but if the market over under is 24.5 or below, Milo is recommending slamming that over. So if you see a line at 24.5, take the over according to the AI. If you want to listen to Rich and everybody else, slam the under.
I'm slamming the under. 24.5. If that's what it is, I'm going there right now after the show.
Craig, who you got for the Rams?
The Rams.
Chiefs.
I was like, wait, we're going back in time. No, the Chiefs at 29. So this was a pick. I transparently think this is probably going to be a trade target. I think someone's going to come up here and get somebody. I don't really know who. So in the short term, I have Brandon Cisse here, the corner out of South Carolina. I have two corners going to Kansas City. I realize that that's probably a little bit ridiculous, but I also think that they need to be able to play better defense, have better coverage. When you have a healthy Patrick Mahomes on the other side of the offense, I'm not really overly concerned about their abilities over there. So I think you prevent teams from being able to have shootouts with you. And I like that pick for Kansas City. Alberto, what do you got?
I have offensive tackle Max Einakor, if I'm saying that right. Andy Reid must have had nightmares thinking about false start after false start after false start last year. So I think he goes back to that well. Former Eagles head coach, he knows what the trenches are all about. He carries that over to Kansas City, protects Patrick Mahomes, and that should help them solidify their chances to go to the playoffs.
All right. I got a cornerback going, just like Craig here, but mine is Avion Terrell from Clemson. Similar to what you just said, Craig. I mean, the cornerback room has been gutted. They traded Trent McDuffie to the Rams. They also lost Jalen Watson to the Rams. So both their outside starters are gone. Spagnuolo needs defense with like coverage corners to even operate. So I mean, a first round corner isn't a luxury here. I mean, for me, it's a requirement. I actually do like that you double dip, Craig, because A, they need it, and B, I mean, you're just hedging your bet. So one of those should absolutely hit. So
Yeah.
At 30 for the Dolphins, I have free safety Emmanuel McNeil-Warren from Toledo. Miami has been terrible against the run. There's no way around that. McNeil-Warren is one of the best safeties in this class, doing exactly that, stopping the run. He had 77 tackles, 5.5 tackles for loss, and 9 forced fumbles. This guy he's just a missile. So, I mean, I feel like the Dolphins are in a full rebuild mode from the top to the bottom. And this is a good way to start. So, Alberto, who do you have at 30?
I have them going with a cornerback, Brandon Siss. Again, like you said, they're rebuilding this year at every sense of the word. He has the potential to be a shutdown corner at the next level. He can mirror the routes at any level, and for the long term, you want to build that type of secondary with that type of player in mind.
Yeah, I'm going secondary as well. I have Colton Hood going in this slot. Miami needs a lot. So it really could be any player who they view as the best player available at 30, or maybe they're going to trade this and reload for some draft picks, but I'm going Colton Hood. How does Milo think the Dolphins are going to draft?
Milo's going with KC Concepcion here. We've already talked about him a little bit before here, and since Boston went to the Eagles at 23, next logical if you're trying to go with a wide receiver. For the Patriots at 31, Milo has Keelan Rutledge. This is based on Traeger and Reese from ESPN, both saying the Patriots are focusing on O-line. And then we have one roast for Rich on the previous one. Not a big fan of Emmanuel McNeil-Warren. It's more so value-based. So McNeil-Warren is a legitimate late first, early second prospect, but the Dolphins have cornerback and pass rush holes that are more pressing. McNeil-Warren will almost certainly be available in round 2. Rich paid a first-round price for a round 2 player at a position that wasn't Miami's most urgent need. Good player, wrong slot, wrong need.
Whatever. We'll see. I mean, I'll bet the under on that one too, Milo. I'll parlay them. Let's do it.
Ooh,
Greg, who
cooking.
you got for the
Rich
Pats?
is cooking. For the Pats, I have Zion Young here. I think he's gonna fit Vrabel's scheme. I think that, I think the Patriots were a team who found themselves in the Super Bowl last year. I don't think they're actually that good. I think they kind of looked their way into it. I think they were a wild card playoff team who had a very easy walk in the playoffs and got very lucky in their injuries and things like that, right? So I think they're actually a little less talented than their pick would dictate. And I think Young falling here in my mock is a really solid pick for them to kind of give them an X factor weapon on that defense. But I could see them going a lot of directions. I could see them trading back as well. It's a very classic Patriot thing to do and accumulate some more picks. Because I think they actually need a little bit more help than their draft slot would lead you to believe. What about you, Alberto?
Well, I'm gonna say real quick, like Chris had mentioned earlier, his belief is that AJ Brown will be a Patriot after June 1st. I don't think this is gonna stop the Patriots from still drafting wide receivers. I think they need to load up on wide receivers by the bunches if they want to be that top of the class team with the Bills. So they're going to go with Chris Bell. He's great at catching the ball in traffic as a defender. He's great at adjusting the ball, and he makes gritty catches. I think he will complement Drake May and what they want to do with him, and hopefully when AJ Brown becomes a Patriot.
Yeah, I mean, I have the same way of thinking that you have, Alberto. I mean, I think AJ Brown's going to be great to add to that room. But I mean, you're looking at a room that has Dobbs, Booty, and Hollins, and that really doesn't strike fear for me. So I'm actually going KC Concepcion here. Despite being in the Super Bowl on paper, I mean, you look at that wide receiver room; it's bottom five. You lost Stephon Diggs probably to the penitentiary. It's just you need players who can step up and keep Drake May at the level he was last year. I agree with Craig. I feel like they overachieved. One of the worst schedules to play against in history of the NFL. I'm not saying that because I'm a Jets fan. I'm being, unbiased here. I just feel like they need to have all the weapons in the world to keep it up. And we'll see if it's KC Concepcion here. So to finish this mock at 32, I have the Seattle Seahawks taking cornerback Colton Hood out of Tennessee. This is easy. This is a Reek Woolen replacement. Reek Woolen goes to the Eagles. The spot across from Devin Witherspoon is like wide open at this point. Hood only allowed 28 catches for 318 yards and one touchdown last year. For me, if he's here at 32, he's a steal. This could also be obviously a trade up situation for someone, trying to trade up for a certain player that we might hear pretty soon. But Alberto, what do you got?
I too am sticking with cornerback, but I'm going with D'Angelo Pons. Like you alluded to earlier, Rick Wallen, he's gone. He was their top corner. Pons is a baller and a difference maker. You can think about the types like C.J. Gardner-Johnson or Mike Sinistro with the Washington Commanders. That's the type of corner you need to help Seattle do their best to get back to at least the NFC Championship or Super Bowl.
I have an officially mocked trade here. I think the Seattle Seahawks get on the phone with the New York Jets and they say, "Hey, listen, we know we took your quarterback and won a Super Bowl with him, and now we have our guy. Let's make a deal here. You trade up into my slot and you take quarterback Ty Simpson out
I'll
of
trade up into your slot."
And I love it. Love it. And I think the Jets get their young quarterback to develop a little bit behind Geno Smith. He doesn't have to start right away. At least you can get a couple of weeks and you can help kind of mold this player a little bit. If it works out, fantastic. You have your franchise quarterback. If both of these guys are a disaster and the Jets are picking number one overall again next year, we take the best player available at number one and we go from there. But I think the quarterback room for the Jets is really small. It's only Geno Smith. So they have to acquire someone in the draft. I think why not get Ty Simpson here with the last pick in the first round?
So for me, and before I say the pick, Pick number 29, that was on me, not Milo. I read wrong for the Chiefs versus Rams. I don't want people to come in and hate the AI when it was my mistake. I will call out this robot when I see fit. And you will see that in some dumb arguments later about is cereal soup. And also, like I mentioned earlier, I plan on rerunning Milo Thursday morning with whatever updated information, and we'll drop it on Interstate of Green for the final official mock. But with pick number 32, Milo has Jadarian Price, running back, going in this slot, specifically saying clean best player available to close out the round. It's Brugler's running back number 2, number 51 overall on his board. So Jadarian Price is the pick here.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a clean pick. I see a lot of mocks recently that have that as well. You need the Kenneth Walker replacement. I like it. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting. We're going to have to see next week who has the highest hit rate out of the 4 of us. And, I can't lie. I'm kind of rooting for one of us over Milo for at least to start this, because most of these roasts have come at me.
There was an equal amount of roast. You're just a little sensitive.
No, it's fine. I just know what I'm going to bet the under on now. But yeah, no, I want to thank everyone for listening to this episode of Waiver Claim. This is episode 1, and this is going to be a show that we're going to do every week, where we're going to have Milo the Mainframe take on all our sports takes. Obviously, next week is the hit rate. We're going to be jumping into fantasy football. We love fantasy football. We love Dynasty. We love everything that has to do with fantasy football. We probably have some of the best fantasy football people on the staff, and then we have Alberto, who is statistically the worst, and we're going to see what happens. We also want to thank our buddies at walkthemock.com. Again, use code WAIVER for 20% off at checkout. Our guys over at Nerdies, you can listen to them on Spotify, watch them on YouTube. And again, follow us on Twitter at Waiver Claim. Hit subscribe, help us out. We're going to be doing this show throughout the year. Even though football is not being played, all the fun stuff is happening right now. Honestly, the offseason is my favorite part of the football year because I'm a Jets fan, and when football starts, I get sad. But, guys, anything you want to add to our lovely audience here, or are we just we're gonna wait for the hit rate next week? What do you guys think?
I'll just say this has been a lot of fun. We're excited to be on the air again, doing another show and fighting back against the machines. AI's everywhere right now, so I'm curious to see how we stack up against the computers. So I'm looking forward to a great football season with you guys.
If there's a caftan or a male moo sponsorship out there, that's really all I care about. So give me some caftan sponsorships and I will wear it all the time. I love me a caftan.
I've seen it. He loves it. Multiple, actually, I've seen. So you heard the man. So until next week, just remember, for us, it's human mind versus the mainframe, human heart versus the hard drive. Every week, no mercy. This has been Waiver Claim. We hope you enjoyed it.
Waiver Claim! Waiver Claim! Waiver Claim! Waiver Claim! Under Interstate of Green! Waiver Claim! Yeah, we play that game! This is Waiver Claim! Under Interstate of Green, from the draft board to your screen. Who you start? Who you fade? Who you ride all week? Human mind versus the mainframe. We decide that speak. Yo, it's Rich with the picks, got the board on lock. Sunday slate, money line clock, tick, tick, tock. Sleeper in the slot that your league don't see. Turn the bench spot boy to a big time fee. Chris with the takes, he's the frame that thinks. Ask one question, watch it blink, blink, blink. Got data, got charts, got a slide side eye. If the robot wrong, then we both gon' fry. Okay. Craig on the mic, baby face, big talk. Walk you through the spread, do the chalk outline. Walk from the mock to the prop to the live in game. If you scared of the sweat, why you press that name? Milo the Mainframe spits out plays. Human gut check, call that fade. Binary brain meets barstool brag. Either way we cash when we plant that flag. This is Waiver Claim. Under Interstate of Green, from the draft board to your screen. Who you trust? Who